Welcome to Steadfast Strength. We are back.
Yay!
It's been a minute.
Yeah, like 7 months.
7 months. I have a 7-month-old, and the last time we did the podcast was I was still pregnant with her. So it's been at least 7 months. So today is going to be part life update,
Yep.
postpartum reflection, what's going on with Steadfast and our coaching and all that, and yeah, just a little
Exciting stuff.
yeah, catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life. All the little things, all the good dreams. I just wanna be in a beautiful Every sunset, every sunrise, every new breath, every goodbye, all the mountains, the adventures, every moment. It's a beautiful life.
this is Emily. She's been on before. How do you feel being back in the podcast room? Yeah, you can.
It's
tell us, kid.
nice. It feels like it's been a long time, but not.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel being back?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's like a nice routine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. There's always like a little bit of anxiety beforehand, like how's it gonna go?
Yeah.
Do we know what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it feels good overall. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
So 7 months.
Yeah. What's life like now?
Yeah. Okay. So I had a baby in November, and so now I have 3 girls.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you have 3 boys.
Yes. Yeah. Totally different worlds we're living in, but
Yeah. So I've been going through, like there's so much, and we'll have to get into it.
Yeah.
We'll have to get into it. But all of you who are listening who are moms,
Yeah.
like there's the excitement of having a new baby. And in those last few weeks of being pregnant, I feel like you're just so excited to meet your little one. You're so excited to not be pregnant anymore. You start thinking those thoughts of like, I want my body, like that's the line we hear. I want my body back.
Yes.
Which we have to talk about more later, but like you start thinking those kinds of thoughts, and then you have your baby and you like are holding them. Well, for me, it's on my operating table.
Yes, same.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep,
we're both
that's a
C-section moms.
My arms are here, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Yeah. So there's like all that excitement, and then there's being in the hospital and figuring out breastfeeding.
Yes.
And you're in so much pain.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it depends on the meds and stuff like that, But then there's this like awkward time of like when you're not able to do much,
yes.
and then you are able to do stuff, and it doesn't look like what it used to look like.
Yeah, and that's can be a lot of things.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, it was a lot of frustration, but my third was like, again, my best, because I came here and I was actually active, but it's hard because you see people doing stuff and you're like, oh man, I miss, and it's hard to remember what your body went through sometimes, even
Yes.
though it's still, you're sore and stuff. You just want to feel that like you've accomplished something, you're making progress. And when, to me, it felt like it was just going through some kind of motion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I am always like desperate to feel a little bit like myself again.
Yes.
Is what I always want to feel like.
That's so hard after a baby because it's this weird, I don't even know.
Like,
I don't know the word.
So much is out of control to me.
Yes.
That's what it feels like.
Yes. And
I
you're just
mean-
like here with the baby and you're just like a zombie, and
Yeah.
you've got other kids running around that you need to parent still.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I've been in.
That weird.
lately.
Yeah.
So let's just briefly talk about like the transition. So Emily and I have very different experiences
Mhm.
with, so like you were not fit.
For my first one, no, I was overweight actually, and I ate whatever, drank pop, ate whatever I wanted, and then my recovery was kind of bad.
Mhm.
I remember like Brian would go to work and I would just sit on the couch and just like take care of Colton, but I wouldn't do anything. And I had like pretty bad, I didn't even know, because I didn't have like a mom community group, people to like check in on me and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom would kind of, but I feel like too, she wanted to, which looking back now, I kind of am glad that my mom was there, but not too much because I had to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was really hard. It was pretty dark.
Yeah. So for me, I was pretty active before having my first, but I had Oakley during COVID. And so even though I had like friends and a community, we were newer to Arlington.
Yeah.
So we weren't as connected to Arlington as we are now. We weren't as connected to our Omaha community as we were before moving here. And then there was COVID.
Yeah.
So I also felt very isolated.
Yep.
I had preconceived notions that like it would just kind of come naturally to me.
Yes, I feel like that's the way it's presented to people. Is this motherhood's a beautiful thing and nobody talks about the dark side, so then it makes it almost feel lonely.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this must be wrong. I must be doing something wrong because I did not think it would feel this heavy.
Yes. Or is there something wrong with me?
Yes. Do I
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kept thinking I must be doing it wrong because I'm not happy and I'm supposed to be happy. And,
Yeah. I thought that too. And then I started using the rational side of my brain to look at the things around me. Like, okay, it's COVID. I'm not sleeping. We're struggling to breastfeed. Andy's work's really stressful. I just started a new business. And those factors, like on paper, it was like, well, no wonder this is hard. And that was true. And also didn't make it okay to still be like so dark and heavy and struggling.
Take it away.
Yeah, like.
Yep.
So like first kid.
Yep.
Even though I didn't have the others running around at the time, like it's such
a shift. And like I don't think enough people talk about it because you're not the same person. Yeah. And you won't be the same person. And that's hard to, I didn't realize that until my third kid.
Yeah.
That like, it's okay that it's okay. I'm glad I'm not who I used to be, but it's not only are you going through all these hormone things, your body change, you're trying to feed a child that you don't really actually know how to feed very well.
Yeah.
It doesn't, some people it does come naturally, but for me it didn't. So then I felt guilty because I switched to formula because I just mentally couldn't do it.
Yep.
And that was hard for me because I'm like, well, I'm failing here, I'm failing. And then I started thinking I must not be a good mom and like all these terrible thoughts, and it's, I only had one kid, but it was such a shift mentally and physically that I don't think you can be prepared. I think it's just something you gotta go like swim through, like just.
Yeah. So then, okay, I just identify with that so much because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
First kid. And then people would say things like, well, at least you don't have other ones running around.
Yeah, and it's like, that doesn't help, like this stuff really stinks. It would have been better if someone was like, I've been there and you'll get through it because I got through it, someone to relate. But then when someone throws on at least your kid's sleeping through the night now.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. What does that even really
Thank
mean?
you.
Yeah.
Because when they started sleeping through the night, I didn't, because I
Yeah.
was like, are you still breathing? Like, or why are you
Yeah.
still sleeping?
Yeah. Or when they ask, are they like a good baby, or do they sleep through the night? I'm like, well, I still have to feed them. And what does it mean to be a good baby? I don't know.
I don't know. Because babies cry and maybe they just want to hang out with you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Maybe you're cool.
Yeah. Another one that always like I wrestled with was, oh, this is the easy part. Just wait till they start moving.
Yeah. Or like when they're moving, they're like, wait till they start talking and telling you how they feel. And I was like, okay. And then now it's like Addison's a teenager. Like, oh, just, and it's like, yeah, okay, but like it's not that bad. Like it's still not as dark to me as like first time mom. Like that's a core. I remember that like it was yesterday feeling.
Yeah. It's a core transition.
Yeah.
Like a life shifting
that I can
moment.
look back on and like actually see like me today, like slowly changing. But back then I didn't, I felt like that's how it was always going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So along the lines of things that people say, there's so much about like the bounce back.
I did not bounce back after my first.
How about instead of bouncing back, we bounce forward? Because really, like you go through this core huge transition.
Yeah.
And to think that you will, like, none of us are ever, okay, first of all, if you're ever who you used to be, what does that say about the trajectory of your life? Like, I don't want to be who I used to be.
No,
you know,
if I was who I used to be, I would be a terrible mom. Like, it's so selfish and ridiculous.
Yeah, like I always want to be moving forward.
Yep.
So this whole idea of the bounce back is just like,
and I don't want to physically be who I was before I had Colton either, because I was like not healthy whatsoever, and I was so tired, and now it's a different kind of tired, but it's a tired from being like so blessed that my kids are so active. That's a different kind of tired than bad life choice tired.
Yeah. So I had my years of bad life choices also, where, you know, I'm living on nachos and drinking margs with the girls on a random Tuesday night.
Yeah,
you know,
and staying up too late. Yeah,
like,
sleep wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Just to add more coffee and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I still add more coffee to everything.
But it's a different kind of tired.
Yeah. But so, yeah, like as good as some of those memories are, and all of that, like I wouldn't, as a 36-year-old woman, I wouldn't want to go back to that. Then I think about life season of learning about health and like true transformation and getting healthy, and how exciting that was to see what my body could do for the first time, really. When I trained with Travis at the Forged Athlete and all of that stuff, like that was a fun, exciting time. You get to the gym, you make all these new gains, and you know, it would be so easy to look back on those pictures or those things and be like, oh yeah, I want to be like that, or how I was then. But I'm not who I was then, you know?
Yes.
So
how do you like mentally make the shift to be okay with your body changing? How did you do that?
So for me, I've been really thinking about what our bodies do during pregnancy and postpartum. And to me, that is so beautiful and so like mind-boggling to like
actually think about
that you grow a whole human inside your own body, and then somehow, whatever way it is, that baby has to get out of your body, and then you have to make sure that baby stays alive, either from your own milk supply or sacrificing sleep to make bottles and be up with them. You know, like that is a huge thing that a woman's body does, and factoring that in as a part of my fitness like picture gives me so much more grace for like my body image, my fitness journey, because that's part of it.
Yes. Yep.
That's part of it. That's like one thing I'm accomplishing, I'm achieving, I'm doing that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And so to think, I mean, yeah, I have like a C-section shelf. I have a little bit of diastasis. Like I have all
I have a
these,
lot.
but there's, we talk about scars from, we talk about like, oh, I have scars from past relationships and they've made me who I am. Or I have scars from, injuries that I've had. Scars tell a story, like we say those things in a beautiful, like appreciative way about experiences, about life experiences. But then we look at our bodies post having babies and we're like, oh,
yeah,
I don't like this scar. I don't like this, or my boobs are shaggy from breastfeeding. And we talk about it negatively instead of like, these are scars that tell my story.
Yeah, I make jokes about it. But.
Yeah. And it's and maybe that's a coping mechanism.
It totally, like, if I can't laugh at how things look on my body now, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And I make jokes too. Like I never understood the mommy makeover thing until I had kids. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I can maybe get why
some
people
things
want to
you
do
just
that.
want back in place.
Yeah. But when I focus on like what my body's accomplished through having kids, like that's a different kind of pride than how much I squat clean or how much I can deadlift. And I'm still excited to build those numbers.
Yes.
But I'm doing it under a different set of circumstances than I was pre-kids. So, so I have more grace for myself in this season. And I think the third kid has been way different for me than the others. Yep. Was that true for you? Tell me about yours.
Mine, though, I was not. Colton was hard just because he was my first. That was hard. And I was just so inactive and still making bad food choices. And I was drinking sometimes. And it was a lot, and
talk about, so like drinking sometimes, like we're coming at that from a perspective of like, we really don't drink at all.
I don't drink at all anymore.
So it's
for many
when you
reasons,
say drinking,
but
sometimes,
like I would have like a glass of wine or two on the weekend or whatever.
Okay, so
not
it's not like
anything,
you had
like every night I drink. No, like I'd have like, but it was like almost every weekend, which is not. So like, now looking back, I'm like, that's a lot.
Yes,
but
so I wanted to add some context to that because if someone just listening hears you say like, oh, I was drinking sometimes, like. Drinking sometimes for some people means like, oh, she was having one or two drinks a day,
true.
To
me, like, it was like sometimes, which was like, but it was, so that didn't help.
But so for us, like that's even on the weekends, it's like, that's sometimes that was affecting your life.
Yes. Okay. And my sleep was already bad. Anywho.
Yeah.
And then Grace and I was a little bit more active because I had to be, because I had a 2-year-old.
Okay. Yeah. Let's not skip over these poor middle children.
I know, because he is such a second-born though. True second-born child.
So I do want to get to our experiences with our thirds because I feel like that's important. But talk to me about
Grayson. He was going to be my youngest.
Oh, yeah.
Because Carson was a surprise. But it's fine because Grayson fits the second-born middle child so well. But he's like my kid that keeps me humble. I needed him because it's strange to say, but like as I'm parenting him, I'm parenting myself. And I'm learning how to manage my emotions right next to him. And that's been it's been difficult, but I've also changed so much. And I'm so thankful for like these not terrible, but these struggles with him, because then I find too, though, I'm not alone because I have a close enough friend circle now that I can talk to people and they can relate and we go back and forth. Like, I tried this worked. Did like this work for you? Or what do you think about this? Like, you have people to bounce ideas off of because you have a group that you can be honest with. And I didn't have that before. And Grayson was always a little bit wild, like just doesn't care. But he's very sweet. And so now that he's getting a little older, it's like more of a struggle to balance, but it's also a struggle for me to not react.
Yeah.
And I have such a,
Yeah.
I don't even know the word. It's just such a trigger to like,
Well, yeah, when you see,
you know,
I find that with one of my daughters, like, we're similar in a lot of ways.
yes.
So then it's like,
Yeah, you're like parenting yourself.
and
it's like, why am like, but I
Yeah.
remember myself as a child.
Yeah.
And like, yes, I didn't react this way, but I was parented different. And so I'm trying, not that it was wrong, but
Right.
I'm trying to parent so that they don't have this when they're adults.
Yeah.
Not that it's bad.
Right.
It's just different.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to make sure that they know how to cope with things a little bit better than I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I needed some tools that I didn't have.
Yes. So
now
tell
I'm
me-
learning.
Yeah. We're all learning. Again, this is why we don't want to be who we were. Like, we're growing into new people all the time.
Yeah.
What was it like going from 1 to 2, though?
It was
You remember?
yeah, kind of. I felt like it was easier postpartum. That part could be because I was more active, but I had a little bit more confidence. And I knew what to expect from recovery. I knew I had to move more for recovery.
Okay, that's another thing. Okay, we're both C-sections.
Yes.
So we can only speak to that, but I did not know how hard I was going to get punched in the face with my first C-section. Like,
No.
That was like,
No.
the pain. I was like, what?
Oh, I thought, sounds bad. I thought C-sections were the easy way out. And absolutely, I cannot speak for the other one, but absolutely not. Not.
Yeah.
It was,
I mean, so like a few common misconceptions are like, you still have pelvic floor pain and pelvic floor issues when you have a C-section because you still carried a baby for 9 months and that baby was still like bearing down on all those things.
Yes.
You know? So you still have that. You might not have the stretching and the tearing of other parts, but like.
But you got a bunch of things that got sewn back together.
Yeah.
And that was.
Yeah. So that they cut through all your ab layers. I mean, all your, there's 7 different layers that they slice through. I mean, okay. Sorry. Yeah. We can talk about that another time, but it's
a lot.
It's
and
a lot.
I didn't know. And then for my second one, I just thought, okay, I just need to walk because the more I walk, the faster it's going to heal. And I had to heal because I had a kid at home, another kid at home. And that, to me, that was really hard. It was hard to go from 1 to 2. Mentally, it was easier because I didn't have a choice. I had to do everything.
Yeah.
Not everything. Brian helped, but like it wasn't just me and Grayson. It was me, Grayson, and Colton. And Colton still needed me, and Grayson needed me just differently. Thankfully, Colton was an easy potty trained, so I didn't have to do 2 diapers. You know, this last one's giving me a run for my money, but those 2, I'm really thankful I had those 2 close together. And then after Grayson, the recovery was better. Nursing was better. I had more confidence the second time. So I feel like in my postpartum depression, it was there, but it wasn't as heavy and dark. But I also was in a different like physical place. And then my last one, he was a surprise because I thought I was done. And so and all that stuff. And honestly, I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for him in a lot of ways, but like too, I'm so thankful that I went through like not being at the gym and then being at the gym and having a kid. So that way, if I like when I do coach, I can speak for both sides.
Yeah.
So like I know what it's like to have a baby and not be active, and I know what it's like to have a baby and be active before, during, and after.
Yeah.
So like I can speak to both sides, and I know the physical and mental side. I did struggle with like after he was born, I wanted to like jump right back in because I'm like, oh, I'm fine. But you'd always be like, whoops, I pushed it too hard. And listening to my body, and it's still hard for me sometimes, but running helped me with that. But like listening to my body is really hard.
Yeah.
Because I want to push it, but then when you push it too hard when you're not ready, then it's like I learned if I take 1 step too far this way, then it's like 4 steps back.
Right.
And it's just, you have to learn to be patient.
Right. And there's different aspects of your body to listen to. You know, there's like your mind talking. in like discipline and willpower. Like I
Yes.
can do this. I can do this, you know. But then there's like your physical limitations.
Yeah, you're like, well, I'm hurting too bad.
Yeah.
I went too much.
Yeah, and a lot of it's hard to know like what you should be listening. My brain that is like making excuses for myself, or is this the part of my brain that's being wise and knows I'm about to push too hard? You know, like that is hard, and that comes from experience. We all still make mistakes with it.
Yes, and
you
I
know.
feel like that's something, and everybody's different.
And
so sometimes I feel like you do have to cross lines and pull back to learn how far you can push your limits. But if you're trying, you'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
And it was hard for me. Now I'm like, he's 3. So, and it's still sometimes like, it's hard for me to be like, oh, my body's still, I still got that like little bit of shelf. And I'm slowly starting to get my abs to be here instead of here.
Yeah.
But it's taking a lot of mobility.
Yeah.
Mobility is important but boring.
Yeah. Mobility
so
is boring.
necessary. So necessary.
The breath work stuff at first is boring. But you
can see it.
foundational.
Yeah. When I start to see how it transfers over, then I'm like, okay, so that 10 minutes that it takes to do something is worth it.
And I would say this third baby for me, the postpartum part of it, I wrote out like that breath work and that mobility stuff as like my workout.
Yes.
At like 4
Yes.
weeks, you know, like 4 weeks postpartum, like, okay, we're going to go for a 5-minute walk and we're going to do some breath work and a little gentle mobility. And that was my workout for the day. And that helped me with that part of me that wanted structure and wanted to just control like some habits a little bit because everything else is out of control, you know? So having something to ground me a little bit, even though it's not like the fun exercise stuff, it felt like, okay, this is something I can do. It can get me moving in the right direction. It's important. It's necessary. So that was really helpful for me this time. Last time with Ains, my postpartum experience with Oakley was so terrible that I was motivated by fear. With Ains, that like, okay, I got to get this baby eaten right away. I need to get moving right away. Like I do not want to go through
that again
with Ainsley what I went through with Oakley. And so I was motivated by fear. I had started a coffee shop. I had the gym. I was like, there was just so much that, again, when I looked on paper, like at everything that was happening, it made sense to me why I was so stressed and why I was so angry. But there were a couple of things or thoughts that I had that I was like, okay, this has to be too, this can't be. This can't be like, okay. And I remember Andy sitting me down and being like, something has to change. And so for me, that was like the beginning of addressing like my postpartum depression was, I was probably, I don't know, 3-4 months postpartum with Ains, and Oakley was 2 at the time. And like you said, like when it was just me and Oaks, like, I don't know. There was a lot of things I didn't have to do. But when it was me and Oakley and Ainsley, like I wasn't going to tell Oakley, no, I'm not going to cuddle you. You know, or
no, we can't go do something.
And so I was forced to be active in ways that I was maybe scared to be or uncomfortable being. But when it was just me and Oakley, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to do that. Because I'm scared. You know, and and when you have a huge gash through the middle of your body, it's very scary when you feel pain.
It is so scary, especially the first time.
And when you know that there are like multiple layers of sutures, like okay, I can't see anything on the outside, but how do I know what's
Do I know
happening
still-
on the inside?
Yes.
You know, and they say not to lift more than 10 pounds, but my
You're lifting
2-year-old
your, yep.
weighs more than 2 pounds and she wants to sit on my lap and she's crying and she can't speak and she doesn't understand, you know, like
Yes.
that
that's a
kind of
huge
stuff.
struggle.
Like with the second was really,
Oh, for
that
sure.
was the really hard stuff for me.
And I always felt too that I wanted even though Colton was only 2, I wanted my relationship with him still to be there, even though, so you don't want them to feel like you don't care about them anymore.
Yeah. And
like,
like
because they went from just being them to like having to share. And that
Yes.
was the shift for me and him.
yeah. So you're dealing with like being scared of your
Yes.
body
Yes.
to like wanting to love your kid, but being overwhelmed. And I mean,
And super tired.
being super tired. Like I remember snapping at Oakley sometimes. Like, I cannot.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, she's 2. Like,
Yes, I used to do
and then
that
the
too.
guilt would like,
Yeah.
boom, hit you so hard, and you're like, ah.
Yes,
it was
like I'd be like, I'm ruining my child because I didn't have the capacity to just,
yeah.
but my third. So how are you with your third then, going from 2 to 3?
I love 3.
Yes, it's a fun number because the 2 can play.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yes, and then you can hang, or like they can talk with, yeah.
I feel I am always saying no. Like, if I'm sad because I wish that I would have had postpartum experiences with 1 and 2, like what I'm having with Magnolia.
Yeah.
Because it's so sweet and it's so
Yes.
fun and things are finally,
Yes.
I mean, they're stressors, you know, and it's like,
But it's different.
It's
yes.
different,
And that's,
yeah.
I try not to feel guilty about that because I feel like Colton, I was so depressed, and then Grayson with Colton, it was a lot, you know, but the third one, and my older, but now like I was worried about the age gap between Grayson and Carson, but like they all 3 play together. So Carson's going to be some kind of hockey, baseball superstar. I mean, yeah. He's like, he tries to keep up with his brothers and he's not that far behind. So, yeah,
so
it's
funny.
pretty fun.
It is. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's like that you've been through it before a couple times, so now like you understand more, or do you think it's maturity and like aging that you
I think
makes
it's
it
a mixture
better?
of everything. But I have like, I'm like, I feel like I say this a lot, but I like the gym, the friendships that I've made at the gym are some of the best, have been the best for me, because I can ask my friends here advice, like hard questions, and I don't feel like they're going to judge me and they're going to offer solid advice, like good advice, because I like where they are in their lives too. And you know, some of my friends here have older kids, some have younger kids, and I can kind of ask whomever I need to a question, and they'll answer me honestly and they give good advice, you know, and I appreciate that. I'm a lot more physical, like physically active now, and that's a good thing too, because my kids are following me now. And that's super fun to see how like I'm consistent and then they're consistent at the gym, and I can see their progress in their sport transfer over because they do work hard and they see it, and I make sure to tell them. And I feel like it's a lot easier now because they're older and they help me with Carson, but I have a really strong community. So this, like my third postpartum was the best one, like physically because I was more active, mentally because I had more help, and I had friends, and I had a plan. Like you had a plan for me when I came back, and I came back and just did basic stuff, but to just be around people again was huge. I felt bad sometimes leaving Carson for an hour, but like that hour was, at first it was hard, but like the more I did it, the more it was good for me. And leaving my kids for an hour, when I was training for the half too, I felt guilty. Hey, I need to take an hour and a half to go for a run. But when I would come home, I would be such a better mom mentally. So like, honestly, it's like quality time is great, but if you start taking some time for yourself and your health, you're quantity.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Like the, yeah.
My like the they got was like so much better.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
at
yeah,
that
yeah.
point, my relationship with my kids is better if
Yeah.
and that's hard. 'Cause
Yes.
I did feel guilty, but when I look back on how I was to them and the situations that came up, I handled them with such a more level head than if I didn't give myself that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a hard thing as a mom to
Yep.
not feel guilty, to be like, I have to go do something for myself.
Right.
And it was running. I did not enjoy running at first. Okay, I was like, this is
Like of all ways to take time for
you
you.
guys. Look at me. I'm doing something I don't like. You can do it too. I don't like this. But then I'd start running, and I'd get about 3 miles in, and I'm like, it just after 3 miles, after I got through the dang shin splints and figured out my mobility, you just slowly let go and breathe and just like you notice things outside and you're just like, oh my gosh, like God made such a beautiful place for us to be, and like just living is so nice, and like you think all these great things and then you go home and like there's like fights or whatever, but you're just like, okay, like you can talk through it.
You have better perspective.
Like, I'm so tired of this, I'm done. Da, 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 da.
Yes.
You can just be the mom that you want to be.
Okay, so yes, I have to come back to a couple things that you mentioned.
That running's not that bad.
Well, yeah, that for sure.
Like honestly,
it is,
though,
but
it is, but like for every good run, there's probably 3 bad ones.
Yeah.
And and thank gosh you and Val told me that, because I was like,
you
have one good run and you'd ride that high for 2 weeks. I was like, that 6 mile run, that was like,
oh yes. But like, okay, yeah. So we did have to teach her that because
it was so bad.
You'd be like, this is not fun. I'm like, well, just give it a couple more. You'll have a fun one soon.
And then I did, and I was like, oh my gosh, Luz and I went on a 6 mile run, and like it was gorgeous. I was gorgeous, and like birds were singing, and beautiful day. People were still sleeping, and we're running. And
yeah. So we have to come back to that, but I want to come back to the community part that you talked about.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of things you just brought up that we need to talk about. So community, I have to say that the community that we've built here has made a huge difference for me on this third one too.
Good.
Especially because where the gym is at now versus where it was like when I was having Ames, especially when I was having Oaks, is a much different place. Like we have a coaching staff of qualified, certified, all-star coaches that I can be okay not being here all the time. And even
that's huge.
Yes, and even before, like with Ames, I think there were a couple coaches at that time too, but my headspace was in a different place that like I struggled to relinquish control to them.
Yes.
And I don't know why, like probably part of that depression, anxiety disorder, but like this time, I mean, letting my community, letting my team support me made a huge difference. So like I have to give so many shout outs to the team, because you guys like really have carried us the last 7 months of this, and wonderfully. So I'm so grateful for that aspect of community. But like you said, I mean, we have a community here too where like other people are having babies too.
Yes.
And like I saw like a meme or a reel or something about like being in your late 30s or your early 40s is such a wild time of life, because you have some people who have kids graduating high school and some people having babies for the first time. And you have your friends that have chosen to not have kids at all and are like traveling the world.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
It's a wild time, but it's true though. There are like our friends, like there are people in all these different stages of life with different advice.
Yes, which is so nice.
Yes, and yet a lot of our value, like we're not the same people, but a lot of our values align with like spirituality and our value for health and the kind of families that we want, where we can pull
so
advice
much wisdom.
from we can pull wisdom from different people and have and trust that it's like solid. So the community has made a huge difference this time around too. Not that I didn't have great community the other times either, but it's more solidified. It's been built up. There's more trust. There's all these things. I'm in a healthier spot. And then I also just love the new postpartum phase of life where, you know, you talked about like leaving your kids,
Yes.
and that's like super important to be able to do. And like there's a lot of the time when they're really little where they're in their car seat or laying on a blanket right by you while you're doing some of your gentle breath work and mobility stuff. And to me, that's always really sweet too, because it's like, I am a mom.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm doing.
And you can hang out with your kid and do something. You don't have to always leave them like when they're really young.
Yes.
But my kids, I was like,
and if you need that, cool.
Yeah.
Leave them.
I
Good.
still
Put them in childcare.
Bad. Yes. I still felt bad sometimes, but you know,
yeah, it's good.
It's good. It's good for like all of us.
It's good for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings me to the next part that you talked about, which was like the runs.
Mm-hmm.
And running is one form of exercise, right? Like we've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again, like all these different pillars of fitness. So our community here, a lot of us signed up for the Lincoln Half Marathon in May.
For Val's birthday.
For Val's 40th
I wouldn't
birthday.
have done it had it not been Val's idea.
Yeah. And me, I'm like, okay, I'll be 6 months, almost 5 months, almost 6 months postpartum at that time. Like that, I'll put that on my calendar and we'll see how it goes. And it was great. It was great. I think in other times of life for me, it maybe would have been overwhelming, or I would have prioritized the wrong things. But it was just right in that it got me moving.
Yes.
I had people around me that were doing it.
That helped too, I think, like a group of us. And we check in on each other. And I feel like the programming that you wrote for it was just right. It was just the right amount of like runs and time commitment for me. Yeah. And I have 4 kids in activities and stuff. So it was feasible. I found time to cut it out. I can't, like, it helps to train for something. And then you're like, okay, so there is an end date and I'll come back a little bit more. But it was so great to train for something and then have a reason to like push myself, because mentally, that was hard for me. I didn't realize it was going to be such a mental thing. But again, then I grew in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise.
Yep. Same. And I ran other half marathons prior to that one that we did, where I was in a much different place physically. And so if I had come into that training thinking, this is my comeback or this is my bounce back. Yes. It would have been terrible. I would have been so disappointed.
You still beat me.
Whatever. But I mean, like, if I've been comparing myself to a previous version of me.
Yep. And that's too, I'm like, that was my first one. So my goal was just to run the whole thing and finish it.
Yes.
And I did.
Yes. And that was mine too.
And now mine will be time in the fall.
Yes.
I was riding such a high that I signed up for the other one.
That
day.
Yeah.
But I heard you get a big medal, so it'll be neat.
Don't you feel like I
I should have
6-year-old
worn that around the whole day.
But I'm like, my 6-year-old finished her pitch league last night and they got medals, and it was like all the tears to get to practices and stuff were worth it because we got the medal. Like, we're the same.
I got the medal, and I was so excited about all the food at the end.
Yeah, it was actually a really good lineup. It wasn't just a banana.
No, I was worried it was for a banana, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, there was a lot more. But yeah, like I think just like setting yourself up for realistic expectations, honoring the process. Again, like I just had a C-section. My priority right now is being with my family.
Yes.
I have this half marathon coming up, so I'm for sure going to make time to run. But there were days where I had like a 12-mile run scheduled. And around mile 8, I could tell that it's probably going to be time for baby to eat soon, you know, so it'd be like, okay, I'm running 8. I'm going to go feed Noli, and then we'll see what the rest of the day brings. And a previous version of myself would have not been okay with that. I'd have been freaking like, I'm not going to be ready. Like 8 miles versus 12 miles, that's 4 miles difference. Like, but you know, like I would go feed Noli, and then like maybe later that day, the girls would hop on their bikes and I jog alongside him for another mile, and I'd mow the lawn. You know, like
Yes.
thinking of fitness in this season as like the culmination of my life has been really helpful. Like I am super active with my children every day. We're active when we're coaching here.
Yes.
You know, like I'm breastfeeding. I'm not just focused on the workout in this season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm focused on like everything else that my body has to show up and do for me every day.
Yes.
And that has given me like a whole different mindset and attitude toward.
Is that what changed with your third?
Yeah. I think that's.
Did you just like sit and think something needs to change, and then or it just naturally?
That's a good question. I think I knew that if we were going to have another kid, I couldn't do it the way that it had to be different.
I feel like that's something that you can't know until you walk through all that.
And for me, it was like, okay, are we
But
shutting down
yes.
the gym, or am I gonna, it was like looking at the actual options. Like, okay, if things can't be the same, like if you're not gonna be up coaching at 5 a.m. every morning, then what are your options?
Yes.
Okay, close the gym. That's one option.
Yes.
Or lean on the people around you. That's your other option. What's the better of those two options?
Yes.
Oh, okay, like let the people around you do what they said they're willing to do.
Yes.
And I always want to be careful that the way that I lead doesn't crush other people. So like I don't want to be taking care of myself at the expense of Emily's health.
Yes.
So for us, like having those conversations, like, are you getting enough sleep? Like, because there are, again, like closing the gym down is that's an extreme option.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, what are the options along the way? Like that's one, like if we have to do it, I guess that's what we'll do. But also like, do we need to make Tuesdays and Thursdays open gym? Or, like there's so many, and that's a huge thing that's changed for me in postpartum too, is that like early in my postpartum journeys, like with Oakley, Ainsley, I was very black and white. Like I could only see things being
one way
done this way or not at all. Like if I can't do it, it doesn't happen. I didn't see the spectrum that lied between it not getting done and it being done my way.
Yes.
But there were a lot of other things
in
between, but I could not see that prior to this.
Yes.
Child. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm medicated, so maybe that helps me see. Maybe that helps me see some of that differently too. But I don't know. Those are big things. I think being in this season gives me it's given me a lot of grace for myself, and it helps me to remember what other people experience, like when they're stepping into the gym for the first time, or when they're coming off an injury, or things, things like that. Everyone's journey is different, but when I go through things myself like that, it takes me back to some of those places of like, oh yeah, this is hard. So that's another thing postpartum, that perspectives have changed, or like ways that I've grown.
So you're a business owner, a mom, and everything.
Thanks.
Yes. How are you balancing it all like this time around?
Yeah. So it's a lot different.
Yes.
So much different. Again, like the community, all of that has made a huge difference. Then there are some things that I've definitely let go of. So like I was talking about the black and white thinking, like everything has to be a certain way. Everything is not a certain way in our house right now. But there are some things that are kind of like our non-negotiables, or things that don't change.
Yes.
Like we always eat protein and vegetables.
Yes.
Like we just do.
Yes.
Like that doesn't mean that we won't go out to eat every now and then, go grab tacos, or Andy and I go on a date night, or like those things are always a part of our rhythms too.
Yes.
But like we grocery shop in the same way. no matter what season of life we're in. We're always buying our chicken breasts and our ground turkey, our like supplemental lunch meats and chicken sausages and protein powders. Like we always have those things. We always have vegetables, and we always build our plate around protein, healthy carbs, and smart fats. Like that never changes. So having that anchor in place like provides one thing that like we don't even think about. We don't have to make a decision about it.
Yes.
It's not stressful. It's just there. So that's like one of the things that doesn't go. Another thing for me that doesn't go is movement. So again, like movement is not perfect for me. I'm thinking about it in relation to like all the things that are in life. So some weeks, especially like early on in postpartum, or when I was making the transition from strength training session a week, and then the rest of it is walking, moving as much as I could as life allowed. And then I would kind of start to get back to, okay, now I'm hitting 2 consistently, and when I could add a third one in, I would. You know, but it wasn't like I went from 0 to running a half marathon. You know, it was, what can I handle this week?
Yes.
And doing that.
Yes.
And doing that. And I, again, like other versions of me now. And I will say, just backing up a second about the half marathon training, that about 8 weeks postpartum, I was feeling scared about the half marathon.
Me too, but not postpartum, but yes, me too. Me too.
And well, mine was like, I was going for walks. I'd maybe like walk a couple miles and I would feel great. But then I would throw in like, okay, I'm going to walk a mile and then I'll run for 10 seconds.
Yes.
And after 10 seconds, I was like, okay, I'm going to walk another 90 seconds and then I'll run another 10 seconds.
Yes.
And sometimes after those, I'd be like, how am I going to go from running 10 seconds at a time to running 13 miles?
Yeah.
Without, you know, like we got a long way to go here in 6 months, you know? But I wouldn't dwell on that. And the next day, okay, we're going for a walk again, you know, or maybe it was 2 days later or whatever. But I would notice that, okay, now I'm running for 30 seconds at a time. And for me, there's like a part of the healing process or something where if I'm just, and progressive overload, you know, like if I just stick with it, like something happens where I'm able to go from like, okay, I went from being able to run for like a minute at a time with like a 90-second walk between to like, okay, now I can run a mile unbroken. You know, it wasn't like it had to go from 15 seconds to 20 seconds to 25 seconds to 30.
Yeah.
Like the jumps got a little bit bigger where I could tolerate a little bit more. And that could be because of my underlying fitness.
Yes. And
I would say it is because I had a baseline of fitness.
Yeah.
That like as my body healed, I was able to tap into those things more. So those 15-second, 30-second runs were more like building load tolerance for the healing process than actual physical training for me.
Yes.
So for someone who doesn't have a background in fitness, like you're building your load tolerance on the muscles that have been cut through, and you're building back your
building new too, though, if you hadn't done really
that's what I mean,
before,
not building back, but building for
I feel like remembering where you start. So like say you run for 15 seconds and then walk, like doing a little bit more each week and remembering where you started is so important, because when you're doing these small things, you forget where you were.
Yes.
And I think like when I started running, which I had done like a 5K, and I was like, that's 3 miles is so, and then suddenly I found myself saying a 10K really isn't that far. It's just a 10K. And I was like, It's
Right.
just 7 miles.
But isn't it interesting how your mindset shifts?
It is.
Like,
Because I would, once my body started doing more than I thought I could,
Mm-hmm.
that was super cool. And I remembered where I started because the bad runs, even I would walk sometimes in my runs. And I had to remember just because you walk a little bit does not mean that it's still not a run.
No.
And I had to give myself grace. And because I felt like at the beginning, if I walked at all,
It was a
that
failure.
I failed.
Yeah.
And that was like good for me to be patient with myself and be like, okay, this isn't happening right now. I'm going to walk for a little bit and I'm going to take off.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd walk for a little longer and then but too, my body was getting used to it. And I didn't realize that like, I was like pounding the concrete with my feet and my form was terrible and all this stuff I had to learn. And I was pushing my body in like a way it's not being used to treated, like being treated. And that was hard mentally to give myself grace because I thought, gosh dang it, everybody else is running all these miles and saying how like running 8 miles and I can't get past 4. And then something just like clicked. And it's been so great because I now have like so much more grace for myself, but it's so crazy how you go through things that you don't think are gonna help.
Yeah.
And it's like,
so I did, prior to this experience, I didn't really understand what people meant when they said it hurts to run.
yeah,
Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know, like doing hard things hurts, whatever, like push through it. But actually I experienced like physical pain. Like my ankles would hurt, my hips would hurt. And I was like, okay, is this a result of like getting older or, you know, like, because I would also, I hate when people say that, like, I'm just old. And that's everything hurts when I run or everything hurts when and I'm like, okay, is it true? Like, because now that I'm running after not having ran for a while through pregnancy, it hurts. Like my ankles hurt, my hips hurt, my back hurts. So what I found was that it was a tolerance issue. Like it was a loading issue. Like it is a lot on, and again, postpartum, you have like relaxin and your hormones are like producing things that like make your ligaments like stretchier and stuff. So I'm sure that's been part of it. But like if it hurts you bad, I would just like stop and walk, you know, like I'm not going to push into injury. And over the course of weeks, that pain started to reduce because my body was getting like I was adjusting to the load. You know, but I had to strengthen those little things. Even though I was like conditioned enough to be able to run, like I had to strengthen. I had to strengthen all the other things that running requires of you. And I see that a lot. This is a side note, but like I see that a lot with athletes too. Like they might be strong, but they don't have the supporting strength to do it safely, you know. So that's another load issue. You know. So load issues, all of that.
Like
but
my shin splints were so bad. I remember texting you, like I was trying not to cry because I couldn't run more than a mile without like absolute terrible pain. And some of it was my running form, and some of it I just needed muscle or more mobility in areas that I hadn't needed it before. And now I know what mobility helped me. So I feel like if someone ever asks me, I'll be like, this is what I did. This helped. It's a process. But you not unfortunately. I'm thankful mobility's there because it does have its place. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's boring stuff.
It's
but
so
if you
boring.
stick with the process, you just gotta stick with it. Like it would be so easy to be like, I have shin splints, I can't run.
Yeah, but
running
I
hurts my ankles.
I didn't have a choice, which was such a blessing because I was like, I signed up for this. I have to do it. I can't quit. I paid for it. I want the medal. I told all these people I was doing it. If I quit, I'm gonna have to be like, I didn't do it.
That's the gift.
And I can't do that.
Accountability.
So I thought, okay, I've gotta figure this out. I have to figure this out. And I slowly, my shin splints started going away, and then I could run because I had the capacity because I had trained. But my legs were like, no.
And that's good.
And I thought, okay, I'm gonna do it. I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I thought I wanted to quit probably 10 times. And I'm
But you
like,
did.
but you know what? I told Val I'm going to do it. I told all these people at hockey practice that I'm going for a run and I'm doing this. And they're like, wow, Emily. And I was like, I better do it because I'm going to see them in the fall.
My pride is
My
too
pride
great.
cannot handle quitting.
So, okay. So, oh my gosh, this is good. Okay. So, one, like, that's a good point on creating accountability for
Yes.
yourself. And like pride is one of those tricky things, right? Like you don't want to do things for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Or like if you were injured and needed to stop, like you would
Yes.
have to recognize that boundary.
Yes.
But like
Aches and like stuff you can
Just-
work through.
like yeah, don't be so, like
Don't let yourself off easy. Yep.
Yep. So like if you are the kind of person who's like, I'm gonna just like telling people what you're gonna do helps
Yes,
with that,
it does, because you don't want to go back and be like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't because it was too hard.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's like people who push their children during half marathons, and I'm gonna quit because my shins hurt a little
Yeah.
bit. Like
Let's figure it
I
out.
was like, I'm gonna figure this out. And like you guys had great advice, and then I was like, I think I was like, it just the muscle every time, and I figured it out. So I'm like so
didn't give up.
thankful for
But
that.
it was
I didn't give up.
frustrating.
It was 5 miles was like
There were times where you're like, I don't think
I don't think I can do it. And
Yeah.
it was like once I got my body past 5 miles, the 5 miles was just to me. But then Luz and I tried running 8 one time, and it was like really hot outside at like 2 in the afternoon on the hottest day. We ran 4, and I thought, oh my gosh, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. But you know what? We did. And then we ran 10 miles and 11 miles,
Yeah.
and like it turned out to be fine.
Yep. But again, you have to give yourself experience to know like,
You have to know when to pull back.
yep. And you
And
you have to do it enough to
Yes,
know.
and you
like,
have to trust. You have to trust the person that's building the programming,
yeah, that's true.
because I was like, what was hard for me at first was not doing conditioning with everybody and doing accessory work instead. I felt like that was a learning thing for me too. It wasn't hard anymore. Like the like out of breath, really fast movement was gone. And for me, I felt like I wasn't going to be able to come back and jump back in. And I did just fine. Like it was hard. I trusted you and like your knowledge. And like, I'm so glad, because it was, was hard for me. And it was hard for Val.
Yep. And we have to talk about that sometime in another podcast, because we get used to like liking the feeling of working hard. And we like the feeling of what hard feels like to us.
And like when you're done.
And if you've seen progress with that before, then you get
in
like,
your mind.
then in your mind, you think this is how it's supposed to go.
It has to be that way.
Yeah. So like shifting to other styles of training, or when, like it's hard. So we have to talk about that.
Yeah, that was a big one for me.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that on our next podcast maybe. Yeah. The other thing that we can maybe talk about on another podcast, but that I want to mention right now, is you talk about like going for a run and taking time for yourself, and like recognizing like, oh, God made a beautiful earth. And I think about like all these habits that like people talk about, or give, like a gratitude journal, meditation, deep breathing, time outside. Like maybe this is not the right way to be thinking about it, but like as an efficiency minded person, I love that running checks the box on so many of those things. Like when I'm running, I can listen to my worship music, and I can be praying to God.
Yes.
I can be having my alone time. I'm getting sunshine. I'm getting fresh air. I'm taking deep breaths because I'm trying to keep my heart rate under control.
When you're done, take your socks off and put your feet in the dirt.
Just see how that feels.
Grounding.
I just feel like it like gives me that like there's that kind of grounding, and then there's like the grounding that's like I just need to like center myself for a moment, come back to like and now I'm ready to mob again. And running, like I get so many of those practices and habits done, or I get to do it. I just have time. It creates time and space for me to do the things that I need to do to feel healthy. And I love that about running. Okay, back to balance for a second. So I've talked a lot about just the overall picture of health and
Mhm.
stuff, you know, and balancing like my non-negotiables with nutrition and training. I'd say that one of the biggest anchors in balance for me right now has been what do I need right now, and what does my family need right now. And sometimes I get it right and sometimes I don't. But like itching for like a run or something. And I'm like, okay, do I need to run right now? And I'm like, okay, you're working out tomorrow in the morning.
Yes.
So do you need to run for your physical fitness right now? No.
I can speak to that though,
Yeah.
because I was like, I went the opposite. And I was like, I'm too busy to run. I'm too busy to run. Do you know what happened?
What?
I sat in the car on the way to Oklahoma and my hip flexors went like,
Yeah.
And now, like not now, but it's taken me like 2 weeks to get it worked back out. So like I went from running all this to not at all. And mentally too, I could see, so as I'm speaking about taking time for myself, I do need to I went on a couple runs for Val's birthday and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, that was super fun. But now I'm like, now I know that I need to carve out time because my body, I worked really hard to get to a certain place.
Yeah.
And like,
I
want to maintain it.
Yes. Okay. So that's good. Okay. So like, there are different ways to ask questions, right?
Yes.
Like, and there are like you might tell yourself like, I'm too busy to do this.
Yes.
You know, maybe that's not true.
It's
you
like,
are busy.
I am busy, but sometimes it's easy to make excuses.
Yes.
And like I'm sitting here preaching about how you need to work hard, but I as well make excuses sometimes. But now I'm at a place where I can be like, okay, now my body's telling me that it's not best to do what I'm doing right now, and that I need to make some changes. But I would have just kept making excuses before. So that's what I learned.
Yes. And so like that's where I'm talking like right now.
Yes.
Like, if I like feel itchy, like I need to go.
Yes.
But I'm like, no, I have a workout planned in the morning.
Yes.
Right now I'm wanting to run because I want time to myself.
Yes.
Which is okay to recognize.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to we're talking about
yes,
that. Like
it
you
is
need
a
to take time.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, but if I do that right now, what is that going to cost?
Yes.
Like it's going to I don't like bedtime all the time, you know, like it's stressful and the kids, it's not always this like fairy tale story.
It like never is time. At my house.
So like, okay, emotions are high in the house. I'm feeling stressed too. I just want to go run. Is now the best time to do that? Like, should I just run right now?
Maybe some no.
Yeah, some maybe. But like sometimes it's not. Like sometimes I need to get in bed and cuddle with my kids because like that's the grounding that they need in that moment. Like they need me to just hold them and be present. And so like for me to go choose to do my own thing in that moment is not the right time for that. You know, and again, like sometimes it is the right time. Sometimes it's not the right time. But asking those, so for me, it's been like, what do I actually need right now? Not what do I want, but what do I actually need right now? I can ask myself what I want too. But if I just want it and I don't need it, and my family needs something else from me, like, okay, now I need to be disciplined enough to stay here for my family.
Right.
You know, if I need it and I want it, and my family needs something from me, like now I need to have a conversation with Andy about like how do we get our family's needs met and my needs met.
Yes, because how do you know your kids will always need you?
Yep.
So how do you know what needs?
What's the present?
I have to be present for this. What can I be not present for a little bit?
Yep.
And then circle back. How do you figure that out?
Yes. Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not good at it. Not good at it at all. But Andy and I are communicating a lot better this time.
Communication's huge. Yep.
And in the past, we would just make assumptions about each other, I think.
Yes. Good.
Or we wouldn't communicate about things. But now it's like, okay, are you going to resent me if I go for a run right now? Like, you know, it's like.
Or are you good with covering while I go?
Yes. And it's like, sometimes he'll be like, no, you go, I got this. It's totally fine.
Yes.
But sometimes his bucket has been really full that day and his capacity isn't there to, you know, handle all the meltdowns that are happening. And it's like, can you stay for this
Yes.
and then go for a run after bedtime,
Yes.
you know?
Yep.
And then I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Or, yeah, I can do that, but I don't want to run that late tonight because I got to get up early in the morning. So I'm just going to push my run off till Saturday, you know?
Mhm.
And like having the flexibility to
And the teamwork.
do that, you know? And yeah, it's not so rigid that it's like, I have to do this now.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that like has
In
not
life,
been.
life is never goes as planned.
It-
So if you can figure out how to move things, you have to be flexible in
You
life,
have
or
to.
else it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's hard
And that's
anyway,
a hard
but-
lesson, but
Yep.
yeah.
It took some kids to break me down, but I got it now. I'm more
I don't
flexible
know.
physically now too,
Okay,
because
look
of
at
my
you.
mobility.
Look at you. Yeah. So I think that's like, you know, we're always learning and
Learning new
growing
things,
and
yep.
flexing with life. And it's like, okay, yeah, like I think you got it now, but you know, who knows
Yep.
what's going to happen tomorrow and
Yes.
what challenges are going to happen. And I think that's why we cannot be always looking back at who we used to be as a
Mhm.
measure of who we want to be.
Mm-hmm. But you can see how far you've come.
You can look and see how far you've come, and that's good. And if you got to be comparing, I mean, like if you're going to look back and see how far you've come, like you have to take in all the factors. You can't just look at a picture of yourself when you were
Yes.
17.
I meant mentally, not physically.
Yeah.
But physically, even then, yeah.
You
There
know?
is differences. I'm much happier with how I look now than when I was younger.
Yeah, same.
Except
Same.
These wrinkles.
Yeah,
but
the
like,
wrinkles,
yeah.
the skincare routine could use a little. but you know, like for real, just you know, like our bodies have gone through a lot,
Yeah.
and to recognize that as a part of the story
Yes.
is
Mm-hmm.
important. When it comes to balance, too, for me, it's been taking a look at like what's my workload capacity, not just with like training and
Mhm.
motherhood and stuff, but like actual business
Yes.
workload. And so, and what do I want Steadfast to be? What
Mm-hmm.
do I want the gym to be? And a lot of those are things that I'm still trying to figure out.
Yes.
And again, like, do we just shut it down
Mhm.
if I can't do it, or do I lean on others who would maybe want to do it? And so those are kind of some of the things that as a Steadfast team we're talking through right now. And I know like Emily and Val are coaches who are excited to work one-on-one with people. Hannah does a lot of our behind the scenes stuff. Alex coaches in person here at the gym. And for me, I love this stuff. Like I love the education part. I love the content creation. I love the community building part. So part of health and balance and just being a steadfast person in this season is like figuring out who works best where.
Yes.
And what that looks like and how that shifts things.
Yes.
Or if it shifts things. So I think that that's been a big reset postpartum too, is kind of like taking a step back, being present with family, reevaluating like what brings life and order in the ways that we want to be bringing life and order, as far as like how God created us to do that, and figuring out what that looks like. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think that's it for now.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
I think we did too. I think if there's a couple like takeaways from this chit chat, it's like we're not trying to be the women that we were. We're trying to become
Yeah.
like who God created us to be. We're allowed to build.
Yes.
Slowly, honestly, you know, like building doesn't look like a straight path, you know, like sometimes it's sometimes it's taking a step back from something and figuring out what's most important. Sometimes it's taking a step back and figuring out what questions do I need to be asking to figure out
Yes.
what I need right now.
Yeah.
You know, who do I need to talk to figure this out? So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. thanks for listening. We're back.
Yeah.
We've got a couple more lined up in the upcoming weeks, so
Yes.
we're back.
I'm glad. It's good.
It's good. It's good. All right. See you guys.
It's a beautiful life.